Henda Bakorimini, welcome to another YouTube session. I'm trying out this new intro, guys. My fiance told me that I should start using that one because I'm also vendor. So, guys, welcome to another new Sunday market breakdown. Welcome to another new Sunday market breakdown. Welcome, guys. I hope you guys managed to enjoy the profits from last week's breakdown. So as usual, we are here same time, same place, here on YouTube. So guys, today we're gonna be looking at almost 8 if not 9 pairs. Today we're gonna be looking at USDJPY, USDCAD, CADJPY, AUDCAD, German 30, EUROAUD, GBP New Zealand, and then EURCHF. Alright. So guys, some of these pairs were requested by some of you guys who are in the public Telegram group. So I hope you guys managed to enjoy and watch this session. All right, so without wasting any time, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and please guys, do leave those comments down there, because it helps the YouTube algorithm to catch up, so that we can get more subscribers, and then I can create more videos and stuff like that. You know how it works. Okay, so now guys, first things first, obviously we're going to be looking at the DXY. We're going to be looking at the DXY. So the way that we're going to be doing things today is that some of the pairs I've already analyzed them, and then some of the pairs we'll look at them together. Okay, so now I'm going to be looking at the DXY here. So what I can see on the DXY, guys, here, I'll start with the weekly time frame. Okay, so what I can see here on the DXY, on the weekly time frame, what I can see is that, okay, let me just remove this. What I can see here on the DXY on the weekly time frame is that this is my highest high, this is my lowest low, obviously. Then we're coming from this impulse, and this makes it my correction, right? And as this correction is forming, I have this 1, 2, and then I'm waiting for the third touch, right? Which is here. Then with this 1, 2, I have a clear middle section right there, which is nice and beautiful, right? I do have a clear middle section right there, which is nice and beautiful. So now it means that now I'm just waiting for this third touch. And then now what I can see here on my left hand side again is that I have this area of confluence there wherein price might react out of, right? So when I quickly now go to my daily time frame, I can just quickly go to my daily time frame. I've already done that. I'll quickly go to my daily time frame, just look at how price is moving, impulse correction. Remember this last week we said it's going to push up, right? So we did say this is going to push up last week, so this is exactly what happened, still pushing up. Then now we have this impulse, and then we have the correction. And then on the forward time frame, when I drop down to the forward time frame, I'll just go there and adjust here and there. Let me just do this. Okay, so this was news, this was the speech. Okay, this was the speech. So this is the structure. This is what I'm seeing from the structure. This is the structure that I'm seeing. So you can see that this looks like a nice continuation flag. So what I'll be waiting for is for price to pop out and give me a little correction to say that it's going to continue to the upside, right? So now guys, when you have price like this, you just wait for it to pop out on the smaller time frame, and then you take it to the upside. Okay, so also minding the fact that if you look at your left hand side here, right, if you look at your left hand side here, we have this area of double top formation, right? We have this area of double top, which could have been the override, right? Which could be the override. So this could have been the override for this market to pull all the way to the downside, right? So depending on how market plays out here, that is what we'll be waiting for. So if this market decides to play out like this, to give us a correction like this, then obviously we will change our structure, and then we will have price giving us a correction like that, and then this then becomes something like this, and then obviously now from here we will no longer be looking for that. We'll no longer be looking for the price to go up. We'll be looking for price to go to the downside. Okay, so depending on how it plays out, we'll be waiting. So we'll just be waiting for how it plays out. We'll wait for how it plays out, and then we'll take it from there, right? So let's move along, guys. Let's move along without wasting any time. Let's move along. We got USDJPY. So obviously USDJPY, we have the same play as the DXY, okay, as they are positively correlated to each other. So we have almost the same play. So on USDJPY, what I could see is that we're coming from this impulse, and then now we have this big correction that is forming, and then now this looks like a big expanding flag, and then I wouldn't expect it to come all the way to this area, but you know what price can do, So now what I would be expecting it to do though is that we have this price going up to this was supposed to be a reversal for me last week. This looked like a reversal for me last week. It looked like a 1 2 3 kind of formation, right? It looked like a 1 2 3 kind of formation from that impulse, and then this correction right here. So if this was a 1 2 3 formation, then from this impulse I should have gotten a correction which says that now we are going to go to the downside, right? So from this impulse here I should have gotten a nice correction here that says that we are going to go to the downside. So I will take this sell if this move right here, because now from here, from what I'm seeing here, you can see that this price already broken out, and then the DXY also is following through. So what I can see here is that if this is a false breakout, and this move comes back in, give me a small flag, then I will take this sell, right? I will take this sell. If it breaks back in and it gives me a small flag, then I will take a sell right here, okay? I will take a sell right here. So this will be my yellow. So I will take a sell right here. But then if it doesn't do that, then it goes up here to give me this double top, which is what I want to see. If it gives me this double top, then from here, I will wait for price to pop back in, give me a flag right there, and then I'll enter at this flag and then push all the way to the 90 of this structure, which will be my first take profit right here. And then obviously we'll see how price goes from there. Okay, so that is how I'm seeing USDJPY play for this week. So let's go to USDCAD. USDCAD, we actually have two variations right here with USDCAD. With USDCAD, what I'm seeing is that, okay guys, first things first, with USDCAD is that we're coming from an impulse, and then this makes this a correction, right? So we can see that we have this impulse, and then we have this correction, and what follows after correction is an impulse, right? So now we also have what we call this, we have a head and shoulder formation that's at play here, right? We have a head and shoulder formation that is at play, okay? We have a head and shoulder formation that is at play that can give us this head and shoulder formation. And then now again we have this 1 2 3 ascending structure, and then now on this structure we're waiting for the third touch, right? We're waiting for the third touch to go down, right? And this third touch will be in conjunction with the what? With this double, with the head and shoulder formation. And then if that does not happen, then the second variation is that this price can go and do the same thing just like other USD pairs. It can go and give us a double top there and go down. So the double top would be my yellow. The double top would be my yellow because I would really like to see it go down from the head and shoulder, because it has been playing around with the head and shoulder, and it likes playing with head and shoulders. Through history, I've seen how it played. Even the previous price, it played with head and shoulder. So now I would expect it to do the same. Okay, I would expect it to do the same. Also, I saw how AUDCAD played out with the head and shoulder. It was almost the same thing. So I would expect USDCAD to play out almost the same thing when it comes up here, right? So this would be my green and this would be my yellow. So we have a gameplay to take this one on the smaller time frame, depending on how it comes here. Either we take it on the smaller time frame, we can take it on the 1 hour and then refine on the 15 minutes, okay? So moving right along on CADJPY, I did drop a video on CADJPY last week. So from this week, nothing has changed from structure. Nothing has changed. Okay, we have a slight change. Let me just see. Okay, because this is where I had drawn it from this week. I said it's going to go down, up, then pushed, right? So what we had is that we had this up, and then we had this down, then we had this push, but then it failed to break the tops. So now what's happening here? Let's see. We have this impulse. Okay, we're just trickling, guys. We're just expanding. Is this just expanding? Okay. This price looks like it's expanding, and I don't like the way it's expanding here. Because also this price last week, if it was going to go for a sell, if it was going to go for a sell on that 1 2 3 formation, right, that a lot of people were looking for, this 1 2 3 formation sort of right here, okay, sort of right here. There was a 1 2 3 formation somewhere like this. So if this was going to go out down, then this should be the time for it to come here, right? This should be the time for it to come here, and then it can go and give us that touch, right? So now what I want to see on the smaller time frame, it means that now since I have this impulse, I just want to see a correction here, a small flag, and then if we break down here, we break these lows. Let me just put it nicely in green. If you break these lows, get a correction, come here, right? Something like that, and then obviously I'll wait and see what happens when price gets here, but I'll be waiting for it to continue to give me that touch, right? That touch to go to the downside. So we'll just wait and see how price plays, okay? We'll just wait and see how price plays. So that is CADJPY. So it's not on my watch list, this one. It's not on my watch list, but I will be monitoring how it plays out, okay? So now going to the next one, which is AUDCAD. AUDCAD, it played out very nicely. We managed to catch it here from the double top head and shoulder formation. We managed to catch it here from the head and shoulder formation, guys. Remember, we had this all the way when it was still here, and we had a structure here which was showing that we had drawings which were showing that this was going to be a head and shoulder, right? And we did not just put one line or something. We showed you how exactly it will move, and it did like so. It moved. We have this 1 2 3 now. So now from this 1 2 3, guys, what I will be expecting is that, okay, since we've had this head and shoulder from the outside, now I would expect that price can do two things, okay? So what can happen here with price is that this price here can come and push all the way to this low, and then from here give me now a retracement all the way to give me another head and shoulder inside, right? An inside head and shoulder. So even this price action can be messy, right? It can be messy, it can take time, just like how this head and shoulder took time, right? So it can take time, but then this time around it can be maybe around Tuesday or Wednesday, and then after that it can fall, right? So now if this head and shoulder forms, obviously we'll be waiting to take it from this area here, right? We'll be waiting to take it from this area here, because we can see that this is an area of inflation. We have this correction, and this head and shoulder could be a nice play. If this head and shoulder doesn't play out, which is the one that I'm looking for on the green, then obviously I'll wait for price to break out of here and then give me a correction. Give me a correction below these lows. If it gives me a correction, right, let me just draw it out so that you guys can see. If price then comes here and breaks out of here and give me some sort of a correction below these lows, then I will be willing to take it all the way to the downside, all right? So that is how I'll be looking at AUDCAD. So German 30, guys, German 30, guys, this was actually a beautiful trade. This was actually one of those trade of the month kind of things, right? This was one of those trade of the month kind of things. So let's just get down to it. Let's get straight to it, guys. Okay, let me tell you something. Here's the thing. If you see a move like this, right, you don't have to panic, because number one, you understand that what comes after an impulse is a correction, right? So as much as now you can see that this is an impulse, you can see how big this big impulse is. So if you have this big impulse like this, right, if you have this big impulse like this, you'll expect a correction to be like similar, right? Or you will not just expect a 15 minutes correction, right? You'll expect maybe a 1 hour flag, right? You'll expect a 1 hour flag, something a bit big, right, to take it to the downside. So let me just remove everything. So guys, remember guys, those of you who managed to eat this, we sent this signal. We sent this signal, this sell signal when it was here, okay? We sent this sell setup. We don't do signals. We sent this sell setup when this market was here. It pushed. We sent another one when it was here. It pushed. We sent another one when it was here. And then now we are going all the way to 90. So now what we're waiting for here is for price to just give us a correction, guys. Just be patient with it, give us a correction, and then we'll take it to the downside. So just wait for price to come and give us some sort of a correction, and then it will go to the downside. So as it is, I'm not gonna do anything, so I'm just gonna mark my lows like that, and then I'll mark my highs like that. Everything else has already played out as it is. So if I can just get structure, extend the structure. Okay, so everything has already played out as it is. So this means that now I'm just waiting for that pullback, right? I'm just waiting for that sort of a pullback. Okay, let me just see if I can, yeah, if I could just get that sort of a pullback, then I will be willing to take this trade to continue to the downside like this. Okay, so this is what we'll be waiting for on GBPNZD. You'll just be waiting for a pullback, correction there, and then I'm not saying that this correction will happen immediately here. Okay, it can happen below these lows, right? Below these lows, it can happen, start happening below these lows. Okay, so just watch out for that correction before the next move to the upside. Okay, so now here we have EUROAUD. This one is actually looking nice for a buy. We have EUROAUD, which has approached our 90% rule, and then after reaching our 90% rule overall, it came here in a 1, 2, 3 descending channel, and then we managed to eat this move from here, this sell position from here. Now we want to eat the buy position. So now we can see that, okay, right, we have this 1, 2, 3 type of formation here, right? Let me just put this nicely. This 1, 2, 3 type of formation going to the lows, going to the lows, and then from here now we have this push. It does have some sort of commitment in it. So and then we have this area of value here, right? We have this area of value where price can give us this nice inverse head and shoulder formation to go up. So I'm expecting price to give me something similar to this. Okay, something similar to this, right? Because you can see how this, like, guys, price repeats itself every time. Price repeats itself. You can see how this played out. It's the same thing, right? It's almost the same thing. So now you'll be expecting that price will give me something similar to this. So this price, if it could give me this more pushback, and then I'll be willing to enter it right here. Right here. I'll be willing to enter it right here on the left shoulder, and then obviously we'll be waiting to take our first profits here, and then if it breaks here, we'll be going all the way to the 90. Okay, so GBP New Zealand, this one also is a requested pair. Okay, let me explain GBP New Zealand and why I did GBP New Zealand like this, or why I'm saying GBP New Zealand like this. Okay, maybe let me just go a bit deeper. So now here in GBP New Zealand, what I'm seeing here is that from the weekly time frame, what I'm seeing is that we are from this big impulse, and then we have a correction, right? Then after a correction, we know that we have an impulse. So now we have a move here on GBP New Zealand, which is coming from an impulse, and then we have a correction. So after a correction, we have an impulse, right? So now, if I just zoom in again, if I just zoom in, I already have my bias. I know that, okay, fine, we are looking for sub positions. So now, if I zoom in now, what I can see is that we are from the impulse, and then now this whatever is happening here can be a correction, right? Then from there, if this then is the impulse, the correction, and the impulse, right? And the impulse, this impulse here did not reach the 90 of this one, right? We had a near miss right there, a clear near miss. So for me, when I see a clear near miss, market must come down and fill this near miss before it does anything else, right? Before it does anything else. So depending on if the market wants to do that, but most of the time it does that, and through studying it has been doing that. All right, so now going into the daily time frame, what I can see is that, okay, so we have this near miss right here. It's not a double bottom, guys. This is a near miss, okay? We have this near miss right here, And then now from here, from this near miss, we have price impulse up, reacting on these lows, right? Reacting from these lows, it impulse up, give us a correction. Now we're expecting another what? Another impulse. And then when it gives us this impulse, we'll be expecting that we'll have this 1, 2, 3 formation with this area of value, and then it will push to the downside. Okay, so if it doesn't do that, then we will be waiting for price to give us an override on the double top. So if price decides to come here and give us the override via the double top, obviously you know the play, you know how we take the double tops, so we'll still be looking to sell that position. Okay, so on the smaller time frame, we'll be looking for those positions. So just give it time, it will develop. So as for now, just leave it go, let it go to the upside, and then from there, that's when we'll be waiting to take our trades. That's when we'll be waiting to take our trades. Okay, so the last one, guys, that I'll be looking at is EURCHF. It's EURCHF. Okay, this is EURCHF for me. So what I'm seeing here on EURCHF, guys, I actually have mixed emotions here on EURCHF. Okay, first things first on EURCHF, what I can see here is that on the weekly time frame, we broke these lows, right? So after breaking these lows, I want to understand how did you break these lows, right? So how I want to understand, I'm just going to go to the daily time frame real quick, so that now I can be able to see how exactly did we break these lows. So now I can see that those lows, impulse correction, right? Impulse correction. Then now what's happening here is that we have this impulse, and then now I have my own theory. It's not my theory, but I have this theory that I'm seeing. Okay, we have price approaching this area here in the form of a 1, 2, 3, right? This was our low. So we have price approaching in this 1, 2, 3. Then now the most surprising thing is that, okay, now price have this 1, 2, 3, but then after this 1, 2, 3, what happens? How did price break out of here, right? So I'm gonna go to the 4-hour time frame. This is where I ask myself about nature, right? This is where I can see, okay, we are on a downtrend here, and someone can argue that this price has broken out of this downtrend line, those trend line traders, and they want to see this price now pushing to the upside, right? But then the truth of the matter is that as much as this price has broken out of the trend line, the question is, how did price break out of this trend line, right? So you want to understand, how did this price break out of the trend line, right? So now what you can see is that we have this impulse, and then now the way that this price broke out of this trend line, it does not have commitment, based on the fact that if it broke out of this trend line and it gave us this nice, let me just put it nicely, it break out and it gave us this nice correction, then we'd have a commitment. But then now it just breaking out correctively, so right, and we have this 1, 2, 3 type of formation. So inside this 1, 2, 3 type of formation, that is where now I will be expecting to take this move when the market opens, right? This one I'll take it obviously when the market opens. I'll be expecting to take this move because this one, it looks ready. This one is the one that looks ready for me. So I'll be expecting that this price will be the 15 pip stop loss, and then we'll get this third touch here to complete this, right? So if we get this moving to here, then from here, this is where then now we want to see what will happen, right? So this move is almost what, 9% from here, okay? 9%, 6 pips stop loss, or you can just widen it. If you widen it, you put 10 pips stop loss. Then we have a risk reward of about 5, which is a good one. And then if we break here and we go to the 90, then that is a risk reward of about 7, which is a good one to start the week, right? So this is what we'll be looking at on EURCHF. So guys, that is from me, that is from us, not Capital. I hope you guys find this content helpful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Guys, don't forget to comment, guys. Please comment. These comments are very, very much important. They're very, very much important for Google, YouTube, this thing of YouTube, you know. So guys, cheers. Let's have a profitable week. Hinda! Sharp, guys. Cheers.